What's going on, Tricology family, and welcome back to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. And today, we got not one, but two movie review for y'all today. And we got some mainstream news to talk about for today. So, without further ado, let's get straight into our mainstream news. Let's see what the world is talking about. So, we got our first reviews for the prequel of the Hunger Games, which is called The Hunger Games, the song of the battle of the songbirds and snakes. So we got a couple of reviews, early reviews here, and so far it has been called one of the best in the franchise. So let's read a couple of tweets here. So the first one comes from Scott Medzison. Sorry if I pronounced the name, but and he says the new Hunger Games is pretty great, super bad construct, and exquisitely ad. It wrestled with its franchise compilation pop culture legacy while thriving as a money on the screen. It is definitely a IMAX blockbuster. Zegler gives a full-on movie star turn, and Davis is a macro hoot. So that's one there. And let's go to another one. This one is coming from Ross Mahan from the Direct, and he says, the latest Hunger Games is fantastic. It is incredibly faithful adaptation whose slightly tweaks actively improve the source material, especially in Act 3. The entire cast is phenomenal, and the world of Panama is beautifully recognized thanks to the impeccable production design. So we got one going for the production design. That we already know that was going to be great, and got another one here coming from the Hollywood Handle, saying, "Hunger Games: The Battle of the Songbirds and Snakes. It is a magnificent movie that enriches the original franchise. The cast was outstanding. Peter Dinklage, Rachel Zegler, Viola Davis, and Tom Buffer are the standouts. The production design and the score also being highlighted in this one too. So yeah, well, we got some notes coming from the score here, the music score here. So that's very good there. And how many more we got? Okay, we got one more, and this one is coming from Richard, just Richard. I didn't put another name on there, but he says, "I can finally talk about it, and yes, Hunger Games, the Battle of the Songbirds and Snakes is wonderful. The cast is magnificent, and the movie was so well crafted. Its production design, the score, everything is just so perfect. Not my favorite of the franchise, but still so good. Rachel Zegler, you are a queen." Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me tell you this. This is the only time that Rachel Zegler is going to get praise for this, because she damn sure ain't going to get no praise by when the time the live action remake of their Disney version of Snow White comes out. I already guarantee it. So Rachel, I love you, but you better take your these positive reviews in, because you ain't gonna get none in Snow White. That's all I'm gonna say. Well, I can't judge it too much because the movie hasn't come out yet. So even though part of me that don't want to see it, but I'm just gonna see it, see if it's rather good or not. I just want to see the difference between it. So, and I'll have my full judgment after seeing the movie. So it is what it is, but that's down the line in the future. So, Deadpool 3 has been delayed and pushes Captain America 4 up. So, this one's coming from the Hollywood Reporter. There was a rampant speculation that the threequel, which is Deadpool 3, which was about halfway done shooting when the SAG strike began. saying it will swap release dates with fellow Marvel pick Captain America and the Brave New World, which is largely done and set to fly into theaters July 26th. That way, Deadpool 3 can still be released in the summer and lucrative accord for the superhero fair. The filmmakers have also done editing and special effects work in portion that it was shot. But let me tell you something. So, in case y'all didn't know, the SAG strike is over, and we'll get to that in a second. But they did change the release dates again. So let me go to that story real quick. Hold on one second. All right, here we go. So after the SAG-AFTRA strike was over, Captain America 4 and the Thunderbolts got delayed and got pushed to 2025. So let me read this story here saying that Disney announced that a major date shift in its 2024 schedule was one big one according to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, taking another place as movies getting bumped into later dates. Deadpool 3 has been moved to July 6th of 2024. So that kind of questions me is that depends on when they're gonna start shooting again, and then how long it will take for them to like in post production. Because I don't want them to rush it. That's all I'm saying. I don't want them to rush it. So if they feel confident that they can release the movie on time by July 6th, so kudos to them. But Captain America: A Brave New World moved from its Independence Day release and will now be open on February 4th on Valentine's Day week. Valentine's Day week. So not bad. But let's see the other ones here. Additionally, Mufasa: The Lion King, which is the prequel, it got shipped from the December 2nd of 2024 and bumped up a little earlier to July 5th of 2024. So that's a good thing there. While the Thunderbolts moves from its July release and take Mufasa and the Lion King's previous opening date of December 20th, 2024. So that's good there. And then Blade, it was originally supposed to come out in February of 2025, but now it got moved to November 7th of 2025. So that's your new ship schedule when it comes to the MCU. As far as the Sony Marvel is concerned, I do know that Madam Web will be coming out in February. Venom 3 is going to come out in November, and then Kraven the Hunter is going to be released in the summer during of 2024. So that's what the current state of the MCU and Sony Marvel is right now. Moving on, continuing talking about with Marvel. So the MCU launches a new Marvel Spotlight banner with Echo. So in case y'all didn't know that with the new banner called Marvel Spotlight, that means that certain TV shows and certain movies are going to get a rated R or TVMA rating. So Echo here will be the first show of the MCU that's going to get a TVMA rating. And as far as movie is concerned, Deadpool 3 and Blade so far is going to be rated R. So in case y'all keep y'all in mind with that. But let's read this story here from Deadline that talks about Echo. When Echo hits Disney Plus on January 10th of 2024, it will premiere under the new Marvel Spotlight banner, complete with a new intro and logo, scored by the Oscar-winning composer Michael G. Hornish. Sorry I pronounced the name, but the new subcategory on Marvel is a branding of a standalone fare versus its series and movies that connect to a greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. The subcategory gets its name from the anthology comic book series first introduced by Marvel in 1971, which features new characters that readers didn't have fully committed to over several issues. So that's a good there. So we finally go get some TMMA and Rated R ratings to the MCU finally. So I hope they do go well with that. Five Nights at Freddy's takes a massive 75% box office drop. Let's see what Variety has to say about this. Five Nights at Freddy's collapsed at the box office, but still managed to emerge on top. Universal's and Blumhouse false sleeper hit had collectively earned 19.4 million in its sophomore outing, resulting in a massive 76% decline from its debut. Despite the dramatic drop, Five Nights at Freddy's earned far more than anyone had expected with its 80 million opening weekend. So the second weekend ticket sales are still decent from the 20% the 20 million budget film, which also landed simultaneously in theaters and on the streaming service Peacock. So they're still doing good with some numbers there, because if you look at it, Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of like a independent film, just behind the budget, how it looks. So yeah, it's still going good. So ain't no bad things about that so far. Robert Downey Jr. rumor says the star has agreed to return as Iron Man, but will it be as special as it was before when when he saved the entire universe during Endgame? We'll see. But let's read this article coming from MovieWeb saying, while it's hard to differentiate the truth from the flights of fantasy, there are occasionally rumors that seem to connect with more official reports, and this is the case with a new suggestion that Robert Downey Jr. is heading back to the MCU as Iron Man. There are claims that Downey Jr. has already signed out to return to the MCU for a new project. While it doesn't give any further details, the claim came in hot on its heels on a detailed report by Variety suggesting on a return from the original Avengers team. So the reason I say is that because the MCU is on the verge of a reboot. So if you're gonna do a reboot, I don't know if bringing back Robert Downey Jr. is gonna help, because a lot of people saying that the MCU needs help, and they are like falling behind right now of what's going on. So I don't know. So even though we would love to see Robert Downey Jr. back, we would love to see Chris Evans back as Captain America, we would love to see Scarlett Johansson back as Black Widow, but I don't know. Is that will they be able to help the MCU get back on its feet? I don't know. It's just a matter of just give us good quality films that everyone that knows, and just stop trying to rush things with your movies and your series and everything. So it is what it is. But we'll see what the future holds for the MCU. And Kevin Feige also addressed Robert Downey Jr.'s return, and he said, "We'll see." But this is the full statement that he said. Fallen Avengers returning. I literally have not even seen that. Is that a new rumor? We did not discuss that at the retreat. It is the truth. We are doing a project with Scarlett. We love Robert. He is a part of the family. But in terms of returning, we will have to see. See what I told y'all. So we will have to wait and see what will happen. But moving on, a live action Zelda movie has already been announced. So coming out the high heels of the Super Mario Brothers movie. So we are getting a live action Zelda. I prefer anime, but we'll see how that goes from there. But let's read this article coming from Coming Soon saying Nintendo has revealed a live action The Legend of Zelda movie is on the way. In a press release from Nintendo, it was already announced that the development will begin on a live action Legend of Zelda movie. It will be directed by Wes Bell, who is best known for his work directing The Maze Runner Scarlet Trails, Maze Runner The Death Core, and the upcoming Kingdom of the Planets of the Apes. So, all right, there we got a good director there. So, I hope they pick the right cast. That's all I'm saying. Apple TV Plus adds 3D movies in preparation for the Apple Vision Pro. All right, let's read this story here. In apparent preparation for the launch of the Apple Vision Pro, iTunes Movie Store now offers a handful of 3D movies, including Jurassic World Dominion and Pacific Rim Uprising. When the Vision Pro headsets are announced in June, Apple confirms that it will support both 2D and 3D and immersive movies throughout a decade of home cinema mode. One of the movies showcased in 3D at the event was Avatar: The Way of Water. Now, that's a movie that's worth seeing in 3D from my perspective. And continue on with the story. The movie is available through Apple TV app, iTunes, and Disney Plus. So, to enable 3D movies on Apple Vision Pro, either one or both apps needed to be updated to add 3D support. So, but like I said, movies like Avatar and the Avatar Way of Water is worth watching in 3D. So, I would rather like watch certain movies that's really needed for 3D to be able to get that Apple Vision Pro. So, that's all I'm saying. DC movies goes to Netflix. Could they continue the Snyderverse? I mean, Zack Snyder is with Netflix, so it could happen. But let's read what the comic book reader had to say. Recently, it was reported that most of the films that were set in the DCU will be coming to Netflix next month, for the Man of Steel to the Suicide Squad. According to a sub report on what's on Netflix, two more DCU films are also to be set to add in December, with Shazam and Black Adam joining the list. The report also notes that the last year's unconnected films, that The Batman and DC The Legacy of Super Pets, were also set to hit Netflix as well. Others include Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Birds of Prey, and Wonder Woman 1984. So, are those movies going to be keep on Max? Are they leaving soon? Because they always can come back. They're still a Warner Brothers property. So, I don't know. Moving on. We got our first trailer for Inside Out 2. Man, I love the first one. So it's gonna be very interesting what they're gonna do with the second one. So let's read this article coming from Variety saying, "Guess joy is hard at work for Pixar fans because Inside Out 2 has just dropped its first trailer. Inside Out 2 is the sequel to the 2015 animated coming-of-age film Inside Out. The first film centered around 11-year-old Riley and the 5 emotions in her brain, led by the star-studded cast that includes joy, sadness, disgust, fear, and anger. In the sequel trailer, we saw new emotions that introduced the friendly and orange, anxiety. So, now that Riley in the second one is going to be a teenager, I do believe we'll get more emotions in there that includes anxiety in there too. So it's going to be very interesting how they do the sequel in this one. And like I said, the actor strike is over, y'all, and Hollywood goes back to work. So let's read this story coming from Variety saying the SAG-AFTRA negotiations have approved on a tentative agreement that will end a long actor strike against the film and TV studios in Hollywood history. The deal will also see most minimum increase by 7%. The 2% above increase received by the Writers Guild of America and the Directors Guild of America, the AMPTP delivered its last Bet's final offer on Friday, which includes an increased bonus for actors who appear on the most watched streaming shows. The offer did not include a key union property, a share of revenues for each streaming platform. So all we can say is the strike is over. Now we just have to wait until both companies year earn 3 years. So like in between 2026 and maybe 2027, where is that they might have to get a new deal or they want to renew that same deal. So we'll have to wait and see in the near future. So in 3 years, we should be fine. Shrek 5. The release window has been linked by an intern. Ooh. The internet is in frenzy right now over what looks to be a big Shrek news. The apparent leak of the release date for the fifth movie, considered a courtesy of an intern of all people. Here's the deal. Shrek 5 is trendy, and it all has to do with a screen grab of a alleged LinkedIn resume from a young woman who claims to have recently worked at NBC Universal, the parent company of the Green Guys Studios DreamWorks. So, I hope we get a Shrek 5, because you know everyone loves Shrek. And personally, for me, when it comes to the last four Shrek movies, Shrek 2 has been my favorite. Moving on. Netflix and Max to both offer a $10 month bundle. Let's see what The Verge had to say about this. Verizon is planning to offer its customers a discount bundle of a streaming service that includes a ad-supported tiers for both Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery's Max. The bundle will cost $10 a month instead of using roughly $17 per month that you pay for the services separately. The bundles can attract more customers to both streaming services and reduce the number of people canceling their subscriptions when they are done watching a specific show. So that sounds like a good deal for all the Verizon customers out there. So I do recommend you guys take on that full advantage, because like certain companies have like different deals. Like if you go to AT&T, you'll get a deal with Max. If you're with Apple, you get a deal with Apple TV Plus and all that other stuff. So this sounds like a good deal from Verizon. And then lastly for today, Darren Akrofsky, sorry I pronounced the name, is in talks to direct an Elon Musk biopic. Let's see what the IndieWire has to say about this. Darren Akrofsky has lined up his next project, a biopic on the life of Elon Musk for A24. Okay, that's good there. A representative for A24 confirmed the project to IndieWire. The film will be based on Walter Eagle's biography of the tech mogul and SpaceX CEO, published this past September. ISIS 2011 biopic of Steve Jobs inspired by the 2015 Oscar-nominated film directed by Daniel Boyer. The Eli Musk biopic marks a rebel for a dream filmmaker's second growing project at age 24 after last year's The Whale won Brendan Fraser an Oscar for Best Actor. So that sounds pretty good there. So yeah, but that's all the mainstream news I have for y'all today. So let's get into our movie review for y'all today. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is our latest holiday film. It's called A Wonderful Knife. No, 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 no. I did not say it's a wonderful life. I said it is a wonderful knife. That's right, because this right here is a Christmas comedy slasher horror film, which was written by Michael Kennedy and directed by Tyler May. It also stars Jane Woopton, Joel Mahane, Karen Isabel, and Justin Long. So this film is a spin on the Christmas classic It's a Wonderful Life. However, instead of the lead character recognizing his previous good deeds, the main character Wendy discovers how many deaths she can prevent in her town. So, so she saved this town from a psycho killer called the Indian Angels Falls, who is a psycho killer on Christmas Eve that comes out every once a year. So but after wishing that she was never been born, she finds herself in an alternate universe where she doesn't exist, allowing the killer to roam free. So when I watched this movie, and like I said, it does take a spin on on It's a Wonderful Life, but at the same time, with the same premise, it does has a Scream meets Back to the Future elements into it, which is very good. It had a lot of fun, bloody kills there. It kind of felt short for 90 minutes, but in a good way because I wish it was longer. Um, Definitely a holiday movie that I'll be watching over and over during the holiday season, and it definitely delivers its holiday that spirit. So yeah, so I will give this movie a C plus grade. Yeah, that's all that much I can say about that. So I would recommend you guys go watch that. So, well, that out of the way, let's talk about the Marvels, y'all. And before I go on my rant here, let's just talk about the good things right here. So at least some few positive things about it. So it is directed by Nia DaCosta, and if you didn't know, she directed the reboot of Candyman, and this one stars Brie Larson, Taya Paris, I'm here, of course, as Karen Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, respectively. So, in the film, they have to team up after they been switching places with each other every time that they use their powers. So, let me just get my positives out of the way. So, um, right off the bat, Kamala Khan and her family was definitely one of the best things about the movie. And whenever the ladies team up, they always have a good chemistry there, and that is also good. And also Goose and all of his cat friends in the movie, they were great too. And there was some sort of moments that I laugh and giggle and all that other stuff. So yeah, that was fine. Some of the fight sequence was fine. It was okay. But uh, now it's time to get on my rant. It's time to get on the rant here. So, man, this was just all over the place. Like, this was really bad. Like, if I were to rank this movie, like this movie would definitely be at the bottom of the barrier. Like This movie was totally uncut. It was not it. It felt rushed, based on its runtime. Like it was totally confusing at times. Like the villain was boring and garbage as usual. So what else you can say? What you can say about that? So it was I don't know, and based on all the agenda that they had that was going into this movie and stuff behind the scenes that was happening, like it it was just uh, let me just tell you in the mortal words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, it was a big old piece of trash. That's all I can say about that. And the last good thing I will say about this movie is the mid-credit scene. You will definitely love the mid-credit scene. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you will love that. So, uh, that's all I can say much about the Marvels. So, this movie didn't really need to be on in the theaters. This movie looked like a Disney Plus thing. Should have been released on Disney Plus. So that's all I can say much about it. But that's my episode for y'all today. Um if you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell when new videos and episodes are uploaded, and also to share as well. And also, if you're listening to me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast streaming platform, don't forget to follow me there as well. So, with that being said, I'm this is Trico, and I'm signing off, y'all. Peace.